Hey, it's MotoGod back with another informative video. In this video, we're gonna talk all about connecting rod issues. Before going into that, I want to say something. Only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up enjoying this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. And in this video, I'll talk about three topics. First thing was how to identify it's a connecting rod sound. And second thing, how to avoid this connecting rod issues, and the third thing, what are the best and available connecting rods for your two-stroke motorcycle. So first we'll talk about how to identify connecting rod sound issues. So it's not all about connecting rod. You can see connecting rod is solid metal, nothing happens to it, but it happens to the connecting rod bearings, that is called needle pin bearings. One present over here, the bigger one, and one over here, the smaller one. So this is also known as gudgeon pin bearing. If your connecting rod bearing have the plate, then you can hear the rattling sound. It's not only about the connecting rod bearing, it's also going to be the piston sound. A lot of people think that that is also connecting rod sound, but that's not the case. So first you have to check the piston slap sound. If you have play in the bore with the piston, then you can hear the piston slap sound. That is also sounds like the rattling sound, but not that high as a connecting rod sound. First check the piston, check whether it has the piston slap sound or not. If it's yes, then do the rebore and get the new piston and you can get your job done. And the second thing was the connecting rod sound. So both sounds very similar, but with the connecting rod issue, the sound is going to be a little bit higher than the piston slap. So I have a small clip for you where my Suzuki Shogun got seized connecting rod bearing failure issue. So let's check the video. So what happened with my Suzuki Shogun was, it happens with the bigger needle pin bearing. So that bearing got worn out and the sound is going to be very high. Like the sound is going to be very high, and don't do one big mistake. Don't ride your motorcycle or don't start your motorcycle at that point. So what I thought was, it's a small issue. So what I did was, I started the motorcycle and ride it for around 3 to 4 kilometers to my garage. So what happened at the time, this bearing worn out already. So if I ride it, this bearing pieces, it's going to be little metal particles, and those will go into transfer ports and they will come above the piston. So think that this is the head. So when piston at the top dead center, these pieces got crushed between the head and the piston. So at that time what happened, my piston got small holes, and also my head squish band was damaged. So never start your motorcycle if you think that that's a connecting rod issue. And second thing, check the smaller needle pin bearing, get the gudgeon pin bearing, that is also called as gudgeon pin bearing. Check this, just remove the head, just remove the bore, take out the piston. In most cases that bearing will wear out very soon. So if it's the issue with the small end bearing, then replace the small end bearing, which will cost you around 100 rupees, maybe that's it. The thing that you have to remember is, you have to check the connecting rod play. So if there is a play between sidewise, there is no problem up to a limit. But if you see the play between top and bottom, then your your connecting rod was gone. You have to replace with the new connecting rod. Hold the connecting rod like this, pull up the connecting rod and beat it with your hand. If you heard this kind of sound, then your connecting rod worn out, you have to replace it. This is how you have to identify whether your connecting rod is gone or not. Second thing, how to avoid this connecting rod issue. Only one solution, always use correct amount of 2T oil. Okay, this is one big reason where the connecting rods are failed. So use good amount of 2T oil. And the second thing was, don't start your motorcycle and rev it suddenly. Keep it idling for around 2 minutes at least, where the connecting rod will get lubricated, because on a 4-stroke motorcycle this connecting rod is submerged in the engine oil. But that's not with the case with the 2-stroke. If you start the motorcycle with the petrol, the oil also going to be mixed and then lubricate these components. So if your 2T oil was low, there is no lubrication for the connecting rod, your bearings will wear out and you will hear this sound. So always use correct and good amount of 2T oil. And the third point, what are the best connecting rods? Basically, most of the connecting rods are the good brands like Miko and MB. These two, what I want to suggest you, go for stock connecting rods if it's available, original OE connecting rods. So you can use any kind of connecting rod, but always use good amount of 2T oil. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in another video. Until then, peace.